Now, more twists and turns in Tripoli overnight. One of Colonel Gaddafi's sons, who the Libyan rebels said they had captured, has been seen free in Tripoli. Saif al-Islam told the BBC's Matthew Price that his father was safe and well and the city was under government control.
I
want to refute all rumours. NATO has high technology. They tried to stop TV broadcasting. They have launched an electronic warfare upon us. They have launched through sea gangs and saboteurs. But the Libyan people stood for them. Hell with the International Criminal Court.
Saif al-Islam, Colonel Gaddafi's son, talking to Matthew Price. The rebels have met strong resistance from pro-Gaddafi forces in the capital. Both sides are now claiming they control most of Tripoli. And Nabila Ramdani is a journalist who specialises in the Middle East and has met Colonel Gaddafi on several occasions. Good morning, Nabila.
Good morning.
The fighting goes on. I suppose, really, if we were being realistic, this was to be expected. It was never going to be easy.
Absolutely, you're quite right to say that, given the character of Colonel Gaddafi himself and his past conduct over the last few decades. You know, he has always been a pariah, a hard man defying the West. And when the conflict started, NATO put him straight back in that position. And we've heard him all along and throughout this conflict being as defiant as ever, not only himself, but his whole clan, his whole family, and his hardcore of loyalists who are obviously fighting at his side till the bitter end, it seems.
Who are these troops who are fighting on his behalf? We know that he has many paid mercenaries working for him, but is there still a significant number of troops who are loyal to Colonel Gaddafi?
Well, he had the reason why he's been able to remain in power for 42 years is precisely because of his ability to play his forces against each other, but also because he, more crucially, he was able to surround himself with very loyal troops, including his special brigades, and headed by his sons. So by putting his family members in charge of his defense, he thus secured, you know, a very loyal power base.
Do you have any idea, having met him a couple of times, knowing a bit of his character, have any idea where he is at the moment, how he will be responding to the events he's seeing unfold?
Well, you know, he hasn't surrendered, and he doesn't seem likely to surrender. And I think what's a fair speculation would be to say that he's still in Libya, that is for sure. He's not the type to leave the country. He made that abundantly clear over and over again, that he lived in Libya and he will die in Libya. Furthermore, he doesn't have many friends in the region, so it's unlikely that he will go abroad. And dare I say, the ICC arrest warrant that was served upon him also cornered him in many ways, so he doesn't have many options. But we also heard reports that 3 Scud missiles have been fired from the city of Sirte, the city where he's from. So he's actively involved in the resistance, not only to the rebel forces but more crucially to NATO.
Do you think he is a shrewd and determined politician, or do you think he is merely delusional?
You know, you can't call someone completely delusional when that person proved to, had the ability to remain in power for 42 years. I mean, it takes some skill, it takes some scheming aptitudes, it takes some nerves, it takes some, strength of character that is typical to autocrats clinging to power.
How do you assess the ability of the National Transitional Council then to manage the change that we are likely to see, particularly if there is now a rather protracted and bloody endgame to this whole affair?
First of all, I have to say I'm quite staggered by the fact that although NATO is determined to get rid of the 42-year Gaddafi rule, it has allowed pawns of Gaddafi to head the National Transitional Council. You look at the leading members of the National Transitional Councils, and they were all links. They have links with the old regime. Most of them have helped Gaddafi drive his own revolution back in 1969. So it's quite baffling to try to get rid of a regime while allowing his legacy to carry on.
Thank you very much. Fascinating to talk to you. That is Nabila Ramdani, a journalist who specialises in the Middle East.